Hey guys, this is Tim and James with Tabletop Terrors. Today we have RPG A Day video 25. What makes for a good character? In your opinion, what do you need for a satisfying character? So, I'm assuming this is in the concept or in the context, of role-playing games.
Yeah, of course.
So, in your opinion, in your relatively succinct opinion, because I think that honestly, seriously, we could go on about this all day.
It's true.
What are like the top 3 things you need for a good character? Whether it's your own character or an NPC, say.
So I'm going to steal an answer from a conversation that we had last night. We were playing a game that I'm running. It's the Dragon Grin campaign that you can find on this channel. That was session 2. And at the end of the game, we were taking questions from the chat, and a similar question came up. And Barker from Be a Better Game Master had an awesome answer that I'm going to just repeat to you what he said. I'm going to use the same example that he used too because it was really, really good. The first thing I would say is a good character is a character that fails before they succeed. The example that he used was Boromir in the Lord of the Rings movies. If Boromir hadn't failed in wanting to claim the ring, if he hadn't given in to his desires, that scene where he is heroic and gives his life wouldn't have had as much weight.
Wouldn't have had nearly the same impact. It would have been cool, but it would have been like, oh man.
Right.
Okay.
And even there's even the failing of him not really, he kind of had a mad on for Aragorn the whole time.
Yeah.
And then like that whole scene where he's basically like, you're my king. Like that too, if he wouldn't have failed in that area, that statement wouldn't have had as much weight.
Exactly.
So to me, Barker has it spot on. Check out Be a Better Game Master, his YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't. But that is my first answer. So if we're going to try to peg it down to 3 things.
No, I think that's good.
Like, to me,
I was going to say, I said 3 things to avoid saying 5 things, but I feel like you summed it up really well in one thing. Well, and by you, I mean Barker. I'm going to go ahead and say something else that we talked about last night. So you should just go back and watch this game because it was really good. But another good example, and I think you made this, is take your backstory. Some people write backstories for their characters, and they're like, from beginning to end. The example you used is, my parents got killed by a band of orcs, and then I went and found the band of orcs. I tracked them over days and days, and then I found their camp, and then I found their leader, and then I killed their leader, and now I have his skull as a trophy.
Yep, and here I am, level 1. And you're like,
wait a minute. You have...
Hold on, champ.
Yeah, you're like, you just learned how to use a sword.
Hold on, sport.
That character sheet, it says that you're proficient in swords. That's like the word they use.
Right.
Is
that a bird skull? You could tell me the truth.
So the idea is, what you said was, you can either, first of all, just start with, my parents were killed by orcs, let the GM know that, and see what happens.
Sure.
Or, the way you put it is, if you write a novel of your backstory, just cut it in half.
That's it.
Say, I've tracked the orcs to this location, and, whatever I'm doing when this adventure starts, the thing in the back of my mind is, I know where the band of orcs are that killed my parents. Now, I probably can't take them on myself, whether I'm level 1 or even level 4. A band of orcs, a camp of them,
Correct.
And their chieftain, you're like, well, you're going to need help, or you're going to need to level up, or...
Right.
So just take your backstory, cut it in half, and say, all right, I'm still becoming myself.
Right.
I'm not myself already.
Give the other half to your game master.
Exactly.
And don't expect them to run it like a script either. Expect them to take it and say, okay, I see the vision you had for your character, but then you need to allow them to put it through their filters and funnels of the ideas that they have, too.
Exactly. And it may not even, depending on how long your campaign is, or maybe you're running just like 3 games, you're just playing a few sessions, that may never happen.
Exactly.
But it will color the rest of it.
Right.
It will make for a good character, because if you see an orc, you'll be reminded of that. If you see, a child with their parents, you'll be reminded of that. And having that basis of, like, this is part of what my character's feeling, I think makes for a good character.
Exactly. Totally. The final tip, we'll just do 3 things. I'll be very short.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Don't start off where you want to end up as a character. If you want to be a great swordsman, or swordswoman, swordsperson.
Swords gnome, swords orc,
Sword
squid.
Sword squid. From Mario. It's white.
Oh.
in my version of Mario, they have Link's sword. Ping,
That's the funny thing, because I was thinking of there are squids. They're not white, but they shoot things at you in Zelda. The Legend of Zelda.
There you go. Cousins. Don't be the best swords person. Be decent. Be good. Have a knack for it, but you lack training.
Yeah, try.
You lack discipline.
You want to be the best swords person.
Right. Don't say, okay, I start out and I've trained for years with monks in the mountains of Burma. It's like, okay, think about where you want to end up. I want to be the greatest monk. Perfect. Now, and this kind of wraps up the other two things, you can fail a lot on your way there, and then that journey is going to be so much better.
Exactly.
But so often, I'll get a character concept, and it's like, you've already arrived. This is a campaign arc you've just given me.
Yeah, and we haven't started yet.
Yeah, scale this back, tone down the level of competency, and let's grow together. So, I think that's what makes a good character. You throw all that stuff in there, and
yeah, just blitz it 3 times for 2 seconds.
And then, boop, that's it. You'd put a little drop on it. It's like the green bread in The Force Awakens. It looks a little like cauliflower.
Tim loves that green bread.
It's so good. I love that effect. It's practical, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's real. They invented that.
Yeah,
hydroponic bread.
Like, literally. Hydroponic
They did.
bread.
They're like, whoop, and now they're feeding India. That's JJ and Georgie.
JJ, Georgie, and company. All right, so this is how we make a video long without actual content. So be sure to check out brigadecon.org to learn more about the day-long role-playing game convention. Completely free to join. You can just show up and watch. It's online. I say show up, but you can watch people play games. Yeah. You can join a game to play yourself. You can run a game. And, go to brigadecon.org and register to learn more about it and to keep up with it. Yeah, that's it. I feel like I trailed. I was like, oh,
like really. I feel like you remembered something really important in the middle. You were like,
the stove is on. It's not.
No, worse than that. Like, I haven't fed the cat in 2 weeks. Like, I haven't seen the cat either.
Or like,
it was like,
no. You know what it was?
What?
So be sure to check out brigadecon.org. When are my taxes due?
Exactly.
It's November. It's not November.
Remember them. 29th
the taxes
of October.
In November. Okay, so sorry. Say your thing.
Forgive us, as always. And until next time, may your dice roll high.